Hey everybody, it's Comic Crack, and I kind of spent part of the afternoon reading some comics and stuff to kind of catch up on my stack. I just want to do a brief little review of some of the things or all the things that I read over the past couple days, but mostly today. I dug into Gasm issue number 1 here, and it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. There was a couple of stories that I enjoyed, and a couple of those stories also, the art was pretty great as well. But I'd say that was maybe 50% of the book. The rest didn't impress me that much. I think it was Gore Vidal that was asking me about this magazine, if it maybe is comparable to Heavy Metal magazine. And I think it's more comparable to Star Reach, to be honest. It has that kind of feel to it, and the art isn't as polished as it is in Heavy Metal magazine, which none of those things are bad things. I just think it's more along the Star Reach kind of spectrum. But this is one issue out of 5. Like I said, it didn't grab me, but it was an entertaining enough read. But it's not something that I would say, is something to hunt down. Read this about a week or so ago. This is Pencilhead number 4, and it's a 5-issue miniseries by Ted McKeever. I'm enjoying this series because I do love Ted McKeever. He's talking about a time period where I was really into McKeever's stuff, and it's kind of a behind the scenes, even though all the names have been changed to protect the guilty, where he kind of talks about the comic industry and stuff that he faced. And I like that kind of thing. This particular issue was a little bit too much woe is me for my taste. But that said, I didn't dislike it. It just didn't amaze me as much as the first 3 did. There was still some really good nuggets. There's some really great little stories in here of some real shitty behavior by some of these people. One that did blow me away today was House of Penance, and I don't even know what to say about this. It's an incredible book. Mrs. Winchester here, her husband and son, I believe, have died, and she is doing everything she can to kind of combat these demons in her life now, being haunted by this her family. And she has this kind of rotating, I guess there's a lot of people that have stuck with her for a while, but people kind of keep coming into her life and become kind of not servants, but builders, as they keep building her house bigger and changing rooms and sealing up rooms and creating different stairways. And every time they come into the house, these are people who have led very violent lives. They've killed people. They have to give up their weapons, and this kind of constant building that's going on is like their penance, I guess. Really interesting story. It caught me so much that went out this afternoon and picked up issue 2, which I just finished reading, and this one is incredible as well. The art in this book is really mind-blowing. Ian Bertram, I don't know the name, but it's somebody I'm going to look out for more. Love, love, love the art. I would highly recommend this. If you don't know this book, I'd say give it a shot. Another one I'd say is a great book to pick up if you don't know it, The Goddamned. This is issue number 2, Before the Flood, this story arc. With Cain of Cain and Abel fame, and Noah of Noah's Ark fame. Just kind of a really brutal look at this time period from the Bible, filled with cursing, filled with violence, filled with murder, filled with all sorts of just craziness. But I really, really like it. It's a very interesting angle, I think, to these kind of Bible stories. I went and grabbed this today too. This came out last week. I think this is issue number 4. It's one of those that's especially good if you haven't read it. Just pick up the 4 issues and read them back to back, or wait for the trade and just read the trade. I found it read really nicely together, just reading these three. One that didn't work as well for me was Low. I'm way behind. This is issue number 6. I have issue number 6 and 7 that I picked up at the Free Comic Book Day sale at the comic shop across the road from where I used to live. It's been a long time since I've been with this book, so I found it hard to just kind of jump in again. It might be one of those ones that, like, it wasn't that I forgot the arc, or even actually, surprisingly, a lot of those details. It just didn't capture me like I remember the first 5 issues reading for me. This one was one that when I was reading it, when it was coming out monthly, I loved. It quickly grew to the top of my pile just because of the story. I find, though, after walking away from it for a while, jumping back in like this wasn't the easiest thing to do. Hopefully that changes with number 7, which I'll probably read tonight. Velvet, issue number 14, The Man Who Stole the World. I think next issue we're going to get answers. I don't know if it's going to be the end of the series or if it's just the end of this arc and they're going to do something else with this character. It really feels like it's wrapping up, though. We had Richard Nixon in this issue as well, too, kind of firmly planting her in the real world, even as kind of James Bondy as this book feels. I really love it. I love Epting's art is, I think, just beautiful. Yeah, I really, really like this series quite a bit. And then finally, one that I just wasn't going to pick up for whatever reason, because I've seen it on the shelf now, and I picked it up today, and I just finished reading it, and I couldn't tell you why the hell I wouldn't pick this one up. This was a great issue again. This series, man, I really like it. It's so easy to jump back into, even though it's been a while since I've read issue 5. I really like this story. I think the next one comes out this week, possibly. I don't know. What a great, great story it's been so far. And with every single issue, it's one of those classics where every single issue gives you a little more of a nugget that kind of hints at what's going on in this world. And I think it unfolds really nicely. So I don't want to say anything specific about it other than if you're reading Paper Girls and you're maybe waning from issue 5, I say just keep going. This is a great one. I really like it, and I'm anxiously awaiting number 7 now after reading this. So that's that. That's what I've been reading today. Thanks very much. We'll talk to you later.